Yeah, I'm good. Secondly, I have lots of reps complaining that they're getting calls from project managers that are saying that they keep getting calls on fucking jobs that were sold like a month ago. And why are we fucking ordering them? And they don't have permits and they don't have anything.
We got 9 people going to Arizona today to install jobs.
Yeah. So why? Why?
I'm like, Scott. I said, when I get back, we're talking, buddy.
Yeah, we're in it.
We got a fast pass for a new Star Wars world. Let's go.
Probably got drunk in the Star Wars world.
Yeah, it's
There's still, is that in
time for a happy Jesus meeting today.
Please. That's what I told them.
No, not adventure in Disney.
Oh my God.
Got over there, Adventureland, Frontierland, and
He tells me today I need 10, 12.
Probably not anymore. Now that
Yeah.
They gotta make at least $2 grand a week. I would set the fucking rules. They get paid by the no. I'm not getting
You go well early.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Oh, this is way better than what I was. Which one do you look at?
Fucking guys can do this fucking teaching us fucking 4 hours. And then he says, they want more money because it's gonna be 170 I said, yeah. He said, I was kind of questioning. I said, well, I'll take it. Fuck you. And then he said, they gave us money back. Yeah. Come on, Scott, what the fuck are you doing? I want more money because it's gonna be 110.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Whatever, the good and the bad.
Yeah, take the good. Yeah.
Average, you know?
Yeah.
Why?
You sound better.
I do? Yeah, I go tomorrow morning. Find out. Yes, sir. Then the surgery is next month.
I know.
I think my doctor wants me.
All right, one more time here.
You look like
I was gonna arrest one yesterday. That was just Sunday.
Sporting events or something?
Oh, pretty nice. Disneyland. Raw.
All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, phones off. All right, so one more time so I get the energy. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Perfect. There we go. I'm in a good mood today, so no screaming, no yelling, no fighting,
praise God.
no cursing, well, maybe not cursing, but there's nothing major. So again, we're gonna walk in. Today's meeting, we're gonna go through a few different things. Make sure that again we are focusing on the main thing. Secondly, we're gonna talk about how to pull competitive information off the internet that you can use to help you in your current situation when you're going up against other people. I used to have a kill book that I could pull out at any time, and my favorite line was, if I could save you 2 hours, if you give me 6 minutes, well, basically that'd be worth it to you. So again, you can use that stuff professionally. That shows them what your competition is, and if you do a good enough job doing it, collecting estimates, printing off warranties, highlighting warranties, pulling off the baggage you can pull off online with some of the companies you go up into. Really, you'll find that you don't have much competition. So the whole thing is you're like a lawyer, again, like we talked about last week, it's creating your case around the evidence that we have, right? So now currently, started the month off, we got 36 months, no interest, right? Some of you called me and said we could get a hold of the 24 months if needed. On that aspect, I'm too, which I don't know why you want 24 if you can get 36, but again, two different programs. So again, I've noticed that we're, being a little more aggressive in there, which is good. I know that with the 4th of July, people's minds were focused on the 4th. Now that we're done with the 4th, I expect, probably this thing to take off like crazy for the rest of the month. So next month, we're offering our anniversary sale. So you'll have that 30-year anniversary that's coming through. So again, that'll be another advertising piece that allow us to make sure that we're getting the phone to ring. So, right now is the halfway point, right? We're in the halfway point. Some of us aren't where we want to be. Some of us are doing good. So again, this is a time where you step it into gear. And it's time where we've got to really buckle down and focus on control what we can control. Now, I already had expected when we made our transition, back in February, March-ish, basically that we were going to have a few months where we were going to fall flat on our face or basically have learning curves or basically get ourselves back used to.
Excuse me for interrupting, Dustin. Charlie Brown needs you to zoom in, please.
He's already on. I already sent him a link. Tell him to check his text message. So when we look at what we've got to accomplish in here, we've got to make sure, again, we're getting better on a day-to-day basis. I'll share with you guys a little thing I learned while I was out golfing this weekend. It was kind of fun. Hit Torrey Pines on Sunday and was a blast. So again, that's the second time I've been out golfing, which was a good release. And I think what happens is we get so focused in on what we're doing that we start working in the business and not on it, which means basically, I think the same thing happens with ourselves. We get so focused on the day-to-day, we forget to look at everything from 10,000 feet. JC, don't worry about it.
Sorry.
Don't worry, if that's Charlie Brown, don't worry about it.
Yeah, his cell phone isn't working.
Well, sorry, but don't worry about it. Right now it's being zoomed. I'll email out to him later. So the whole avenue is we want to focus on, again, mastering archery. We're going to talk about some ideas today that I was thinking about to help get ourselves off, get ourselves basically back on track and stay on track. So far, our month is, starting out good. So again, we want to stay good forward. And I'm going to show a different little segment with the numbers. Normally I post them all up and I have basically who's doing good and who's doing on the side. And literally I did that to hide really how shitty we were doing, to be honest with you. And I did that because I didn't want you to focus on the bad, I wanted you to focus on the good. Now we're doing actually where a majority of us are doing well. Some of us are still basically a little shaky, but majority of us are doing well now. And as I told you guys, is we have to hit on all cylinders right now to make sure we keep our 36 months no interest, our 24 months no interest. We get a hold and keep these plans. And Kelly's rooting for us as much as I'm rooting for us because I don't want to lose those plans. Those plans will help out dramatically. Now, again, you got the 4th of July coming in the mix. Right now, Dana, she's at 27 grand, closing 50%. Nice job, Dana. Mr. Doherty's at 70,000, 43% close, 10,000 RPL. Dana's at a $6,900 RPL. Those are fantastic numbers. Basically, Mr. Hauser's at 33%, $6,000 RPL. Nick's at 33%. We've got basically Mr. Mark Lance is at 50%. Dan Lewis is at 50%. We have basically Dave Meggert's at 50%. Mike hit a $19,000 self-gen over the weekend. Good job, buddy. Cynthia is 2 for 2. She's at 100%. And overall, we're at 31% and basically about 204 grand based on the weekend. So again, we look at where we're setting at 34 for 33.46 basically is our revenue per lead. Average sell is right at about 10,470 or 742, which is a little bit lower. But again, the start of something good for the month. So you look at it, again, some of our numbers are dropping down, but again, when we start picking up 2 or 3 deals based on if your numbers aren't where they need to be, we'll pick that thing up and allow it to come into it. I know Jeremy's got a good size one he's popped at the beginning of this week, which is what I call the momentum builder. You know, so there's a lot of different avenues into here. So again, if you ran into some conditions or situations, nothing to put your head down about. Again, your drive and focus needs to be on moving forward. And I like showing this because you can kind of see how you're doing compared to your peers too, which allows you to see and test and gauge how much effort or if you're running into crazy condition stuff. Okay. So with that said, good job to those that are doing a good job. With that, I'm going to let Mark come up, and then we'll get into the message.
All right. All right. Fancy. Taking after Dustin. All right. So for those of you that were lucky enough for me to be able to text you this information, you hopefully have been able to set up your email. What the company is doing is, hold on. What the company's doing is because they're still working on the company email, they've given us a temporary. And it's through this hosting. So basically it's called bluehost.com.
This email, by the way, will funnel any email that you've had since a week from last Tuesday.
Correct.
So you'll get all of your normal emails and be able to communicate the same way. What you got to be careful of is if you try to send it from your normal browser, not the web browser, you'll see 2 different locations on your email. If you try to send it from what you call your, I think they call it, I forget, your preferred or whatever it is, but you always want to make sure it says web browser when you send it if you have both email accounts set up, because it'll be standardized or whatever it's called. I don't really know, but you got to pay attention. But it will, again, all your emails will come into that the same as they always have until basically we get the other one set up. Then we'll just do away with the web host. But
So question, when you're at the end and they're signing and then email, even though we're down, I'm still gonna try to set it. My customer got it on Saturday.
It comes out of Leap, not your email.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's different.
It comes out of the lead.
Leap has an automatic server which sends it on our behalf. So therefore it does not affect the customer getting it.
Okay.
Correct. But at least now you can start getting emails. So emails that have shown up, whether they're company emails or emails to one another. This is how we're going to be able to communicate. Again, this is just temporary until we get our company email working. So again, for those of you, I was able to send. Now, some I didn't send only because the passcode was corrupt. It wasn't a correct passcode. So there was no reason for me to send this. It's if you couldn't go on. So if you didn't receive anything, is either one of 2 things. 1, your passcode was corrupt, or 2, I tried to text it to you because you have no email address. I tried to text it to you and it was blocked for whatever reason. It came back as an error. So I sent those that had the opportunity to go on, I sent you your passcode. So what you want to do, and while we're doing this, I'll send this to you. AirDrop is probably the easiest way, but basically you're going to go on to www.bluehost.com. Once you get that, this is a screen you're going to see. You want to go all the way over and log in. Once you click on that login, the screen's going to look like this. You are going to switch from a hosting login to webmail login. Okay? You'll put in your standard work email and then the passcode that I sent you. And then for those that currently don't have a valid passcode, Miles is working on that. So we'll try to get that by today. Okay? You click on login. I think it's going to ask you to choose of 3 different options. You're going to choose on round cube. And then that's what it's going to look like. And then from there, you can go ahead and, do like you normally do, compose, read your emails, whatever you want to do from that point. But this is, again, a temporary process. And I'll AirDrop this to you so at least you have the slides. So so you know kind of the process when it comes time and you're ready to move forward with your passcode. Okay, any questions on this? For those that I was able to send the link through text message, were you able to get on?
Yeah, do you have to log in every time though?
You should be able to say, you should be able
Set
to,
it.
you should be able to save your pass. It should, do you want to save, automatically save the password? There should be something you can do in your keychain on it.
I hope so, because that password is.
Well,
You can also go in and
change it.
change it. I
You can
would
also-
highly suggest that.
I know, 'cause it has all the.
Yeah, obviously computer generated.
So Mark, to confirm what I think I heard you say, is that if we had not gotten the communication from you because of a corrupted password, we're still on hold till later today when Miles will communicate with us?
That is correct. Either he's going to communicate through me and I'll communicate to you. Either way, we're going to try to get those passcodes. Our goal is to have it by today. Okay, because obviously if you're not getting emails, there's probably customers that have been trying to reach out to you. And it's not moving us forward. If anything, it's moving us backwards. So we want to get this corrected as soon as possible. So obviously this is urgent. It isn't? Okay. So for the ones I did send, we'll go over them individually. So the ones I did send, the actual slides with the passcode, your passcode will work because I did try it. So I actually went in and I could see your emails. So those are the ones I sent. The ones I could not get in was because the passcode was incorrect. And it's not for a lack of trying. I tried multiple times the same passcode. Now just note that the 0, you'll see a 0. It's either a 0 or it's a very large O. So capital O. So try it both ways. So if it looks like it's a 0, it's probably a capital O. If it's a capital O, it could be a 0. So just try it both ways, either one or the other. But you got to do it exactly the way I typed it. Now, if I typed it in wrong, I apologize. But again, for those that I did send, I was able to get in. Any other questions on this? Okay. Last thing is we do have a new account manager for CalFirst. If you've heard the name Drake, we got a applause.
Hercules!
So Eddie's no longer with CalFirst. That was it. So when he came in was the last time. Yeah. You never know, right? Okay, so Drake Benedict, there's his number. Thank you, Mike Hauser, for sending that. Yeah, so if you have any questions, you want to reach out to Drake. I don't know where he's located. Currently, he's probably up in
He's in Northern.
Northern Cal. All right, so everything's gonna be via phone. I don't think he'll be showing up anytime soon.
Do you guys want his mobile number?
That's not it.
That's not it. If you got a mobile number, go ahead, JC.
Oh, good.
You just put on the group.
Yeah, why don't you do that? That'd be great. All right, that's all I got.
There you go.
So I thought I just linked up, but apparently I didn't. All right, so we will get rolling. I wonder if Drake can rap. Or if he maybe he plays, maybe he's a Toronto fan or something. All right.
When I look at people, I always ask the question. I say, man, tell me what Nike stands for. They said, oh, ain't that's easy, just do it. I said, tell me what Adidas stands for. Oh, ain't that's easy, man, impossible is nothing. I said, now tell me what you stand for. When people look at you, do they think excuses? When people look at you, do they think victory? When people look at you, do they think that's a person that's going to give me everything they got, not on some days, but on every day, and it's not going to be predicated upon run if I feel like it, because I think we all know if we only work through the days we felt like it, none of us would get much enough. I'm talking about the real level of commitment. Not the commitment that falls in line if everything goes right. I'm speaking of the commitment that says, I am going to stay true to what I said I would do long after the move that I said it in the flesh.
See, most people, ladies and gentlemen, are stoppable. Most people, all you have to do is tell them no. All you have to do is make it inconvenient for them. All you have to do is make it difficult for them, and they're stuck. See, when you're going to get your goal, don't think that all you have to do is think positive and everything's going to work out okie-dokie for you. When you're going to get your goal, you're sending a telegram to Murphy's Law to visit you personally.
You thought you were just going to have a dream and a goal, and you were just going to wake up and just walk into the sunset. You're like, dream, boom. It don't work like that. You have a dream, and then life pumps you. Life pumps you and say, do you really want this? You're going to lose friends. Do you really want this? Do you really want this? Cousin's going to abandon you. People that you used to be like this with don't think you bougie, don't want to deal with you. It's a part of it, but I paid too much. If I was going to quit, I would have quit in the abandoned building when I wanted to commit suicide and take my life. I should have quit when I heard my voice say, your mama don't want you, your daddy don't want you, take your life. I got through that, so why am I going to quit over an app on the grave? Come on. And so I'm telling y'all, you have come too far to quit now. You have invested too much to quit now. You have lost too much to quit now. Don't cry about it. Don't whine about it. Get a reward for your pain.
And so by being committed to everything that I started, I finished it. It built a certain type of spirit. It built a certain type of mentality. It built a certain type of individual. And so now I couldn't quit even if I wanted to. I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. I had too much for equity in my life and everything I was doing.
You're too close to quit. Now,
You gotta take another lap. You gotta take another lap. Because you never know. This might be the one. You can't stop because you're tired. You can't stop because you got your feelings hurt. You gotta take another lap. Keep walking. Keep walking. Keep walking. You're gonna make it. You're gonna do it. You got an unstoppable fire. Come on, take another lap. Don't you stop. Don't stop walking.
Love that video. And it talks about, you know, people quit when it gets hard. People are stoppable, right? It's so true. Because we get into a mix where sometimes we feel like we run into a wall, right? We might get 4 or 5 opportunities that don't sit directly in front of us, and they kind of punch us in the face, and it gets us down. Then we start doubting ourselves a little bit, doubting our capability, and start looking at through different set of lenses that we haven't looked through before, right? We kind of look at ourselves and look at the situations, and man, maybe this isn't working so well. Or maybe we look at, basically, we stop thinking about effort we're putting into, we start focusing on problems. So when I heard that video come up, I was actually on the treadmill, and I was like, okay. I said, wow, that one spoke to me. Because you hear the first part of it. It kind of resonates to what we do, right? Because no's are what we get, right? You know, the home run derby tonight, you know, it's completely different. The All-Star games tomorrow night. So you look at the type of thing, right? 300 plus average is looked at as a Hall of Fame average. You look at that thing. So it means we got to win 3 out of 10 times. Same type of thing as sales. We work just like baseball. We don't have to be successful 100% of the time to be considered a success in our industry, right? Just 3 out of 10 means we have permission to fail 6 or 7 times and still be considered successful. Think about that. Permission to fail 6 or 7 times and still be considered success. So don't focus on the 7. Focus on basically your 1 for 2s. If I know 6 are there and I got 6 opportunities that are solid gold, right? That I know I can do something with. The base has put in the right position. I got dual homeowners there. I can give a full presentation on that. I go 1 for 2 on that. That's 30% all day long. That's what we were trained in the very beginning. So what happens is sometimes we lose focus, right? We stop paying attention to did I run into a red? Did I run into a blue? Did I run into a yellow? Did I run into a white? I love it. Last night, my group I meet with every Sunday evening, they were talking about the color code. And I was laughing because, I've already learned it, and they're trying to, put their head and grasp around it. And they're like, yeah, this, person's kind of sitting off to the side. They're kind of, discontent, and they don't really want to get involved. I'm like, so that's white, right? They're like, well, yeah. I said, because they fear their peace, and they fear you coming into the house to basically, and you're interrupting their peace. So they would rather have you out of there than ever have you disrupt their peace, right? He's like, exactly right. I said, so you think about that thing, how do you sell to that customer? What do you have to do? What kind of person do you have to be so they'll listen and relate to you, right? So if we don't basically, again, take them out of the stance and, tell them we're a salesperson until proven innocent. And obviously, if I do anything today to make you feel uncomfortable, you have permission to ask me to leave or be quiet, right? Well, let's change the subject. Same thing as the red, the dominant, right? That doesn't want to listen to you. That's so fun when you're able to break that guy down because, again, you try to take him and sit down at the table. Well, you didn't listen and you didn't follow training, right? Same thing as the yellow, the ADD. You didn't sit down, you didn't follow training. You basically got back, you needed to get back up and take them to elicit response, right? If you let somebody sit there and blab to you for an hour and a half about things that aren't relevant to the situation or condition or environment you're setting into, then you got sucked into their funnel. So again, if you didn't pattern interrupt, pattern repeat, and take them back on track, then you didn't fully understand what you did. You're not following the training, right? That's not bad because, motivation's like a bat. You got to take one every day to stay clean. If not, it starts to get a little crusty, a little stinky. You basically start forgetting things, right? You only remember your last 21 days. Think about it. What happened to your experiences in the last 21 days are what you're holding on to right now. The last 21 days is your reality, right? Last 6 months is your reality. So if you think about where your reality is and what your last 6 months or last 21 days have been, that's where your mindset is at this exact second. So how do you change that mindset? Or how do you not change that mindset? How do you stay on track, right? How to power for the course. So when you think about it, there's a cool thing that I kind of was golfing I thought about is a lesson that I learned a long time ago. Matter of fact, I got a good reminder this morning on it. It's kind of nice when you get out and you don't focus on anything but just relaxing, right? And one thing I like about golf is you get out there and you don't have to think about anything. All you got to think about is putting the ball on that little tiny hole with the ocean and everything else sitting off to the side of it, right? Which is kind of stressful in its own world, but at the end of the day, if I hit it in the ocean, what's going to happen? Oh, I lost the ball, right? I get to hit another ball. Not that big of a deal, right? They give you 3 strokes on this hole to get in the hole, right? So depending on what I do with my first stroke dictates on what club I have to use with my second stroke. So when I was thinking about this, I'm like, man, how does golf kind of relay in? Because I was thinking about the message I wanted to come through with today. And about, what time was it, 7:30 this morning? I actually figured out what I was going to talk about. So I kind of mixed in, and I wanted to talk about what little lessons I feel like that we can take and put into it. I learned this from somebody way smarter than me. I didn't make this up. This definitely wasn't my doing. But it so works and it's so true. And I want you guys to see how we can relate this information into our daily routines, right? Into our craft of what we do. It says, number 1, they surveyed Phil Mickelson, actually. And the cool thing, he said that if you want to get good at golf, number 1, you got to practice. Number 2, you got to basically focus on making the main thing, right? And he says, if you master the money shot, he goes, master the money shot. I kind of laughed the first time I heard it, but master the money shot, right? He says, master the 3-foot putt. He goes, over 41.3%, and over half of these shots you take are within 3 to 5 feet of the cup, right? So it's telling you is, golf's a big game, right? There's drivers, there's irons, there's basically, man, I'm smacking my 4-iron like nothing else. Get my 4-iron 230 yards basically out, whoop the tail out a couple of guys on a couple of the holes, but they beat me overall. So they were focused on this stuff. So again, it says if you master, I said, if you master, if you basically focus on your master or on the money shot, you would actually cut 20 to 25% of the strokes off your game, right? So you focus on that 3 foot to 5 foot area. So you talk about a putting green, right? That's when I say drive for show, putt for dough. And I was thinking about that, like, oh my God, it's so true, right? You start thinking about how we can relate. I'm going to give you guys some analogies in a minute. Practice in one spot from 3 foot until you hit 50 in a row. That's what the expert says. Practice from 3 foot in one spot till you hit 50 in a row. So we hit 50 in a row, right? An amateur press get it right. Professional press can't get it wrong. I would never even think to do that. So I was thinking about basically how that relates into it. It's no different than the practice we've got to put in, right? You're a professional golfer, because think about it. The difference in 3 strokes in golf is the difference in huge prize money, right? Like I was jumping up and down, I hit a 92, but the next closest guy to me hit an 88, and the next closest guy to him an 84, right? So that was the little group of 3 I did, and then one guy we played with hit 110, so I was pretty proud I went in last place, right? But you take these guys that go out and golf every week, they focus, they're putting, like within basically 3 to 5 feet, they're automatic. They don't miss. It's disgusting, and it almost pissed me off every time I got on the green with them. The point I nicknamed one of them Masters, I nicknamed the other one Bullseye because it felt like the guys couldn't miss. But again, it forced me to step my game up. So I realized, and it started making me think, man, how am I going to get better than them? Because I don't like to lose. So I was like, how do I learn? So I was thinking that. And I said, so 3 foot, practice 50 shots in a row till you can't miss. Because after you get that done, then you pick 4 spots in that same 3 foot area around the hole, and you keep moving in those 4 spots till you can hit all 50 putts. Think about that, right? I'm sitting there, I'm hitting 50 putts on a green, and I hit it inconsistently. Now I got to move to 4 different spots. I got to hit 50 putts in those 4 different spots. But think about it, that's a lot of detail, right? It's pretty hard. If you ever putted on a putting green, it's hard as hell to hit 5 in a row, or even 3, or even sometimes 2 in a row, much less 50 in a row, right? But if I practice till I can't get it wrong, there's some of the things. After you get good at that, expand your circle after you master your 3 foot to 5 foot, and then do the same thing again. So I talked about after you get good at that, then you take your chipper out, right? Because the second thing is, most 90% of the shots you take on a basic golf course are within 100 yards. So if you don't master your chip or basically that in-between club, you're gonna run into a lot of problems. With 14% or 14 clubs in your bag, 60% of the shots are made up with 2 clubs, right? So if you're on a driving range, where should your focus be? Well, might be a driver, might be other one. So you look at basically whatever clubs that you're going to be using the most should be the ones you practice with the most, right? Or practice on the most. So like, what the hell does this have to do with sales, right? It kind of works a lot in the same detail. The small hinge, or the small hinge that swings, the big, or the small hinge that swings the big hinge of success. I have my little typo up there. But the small hinge that swings the big hinge of success. So we look at what little things that we can focus on. Because a lot of times when we mess up in a house, we don't miss something big. We get the big stuff right. Sometimes it's the small stuff that we miss, right? So we've joked around a lot about drive for show, putt for dough, we call that closing, right? So that's an area that I struggle in. That could be a big part. Maybe it's inspection. Maybe it's, company story. Maybe it's conviction. Maybe it's third-party information. There's a lot of things in here that we can focus on that might help us, right? So as you perfect your sales craft, why is this relevant? Why do you think I would bring that analogy in there about making 50 putts from one spot? Why do you think I would talk about that? Why do you think I'd even bring that in today's meeting and make it a relevant topic? Any clue? I love it. So this is why. what is your highest leverage activities in a presentation? If you're in a presentation of sales performance, when you go out there today, you're performing it, what are your highest leverage activities that you can do in that appointment to be successful? So what I want you to do real quick, I want you to grab your piece of paper, I want you to write on the back what you feel in your appointment that your highest leverage activities are in the appointment. And we're going to use this in a minute. So again, what's your highest leverage activities in your appointment? It means like if you didn't do this, you would not be successful. So think about it. What's your highest leverage activities in the appointment? It doesn't have to be a long list. It can be one thing, it can be three things, it can be two things, it just, whatever it might be. Give you guys about 2 minutes. Jeremy from Macon on that track that.
No calling today?
All right, next. In our presentation, remember before we talked about 41.3% of all shots are a putt, and half of those are within basically 3 to 5 feet of the hole, right? Means we got to master those. That's the biggest part of our game where we cut the most strokes out or gain the most productivity in our work, right? If I gain the most productivity into it, and 41.3% of the time I depend on that shot, which is the biggest payoff activity, the master shot. What is that in our performance? What is the master shot in our performance in our presentation now? What is the master shot? What is our 3 to 5 foot putt? It's gonna be kind of hard. You're sitting down just thinking about a cusp, it can be kind of hard. Some it might be really easy. $41.3. Dave, I don't know what you missed, but I asked everyone to list out on the back their highest basically leverage activities in a presentation that if you missed, you would not be successful. And then I asked you also to write down what you feel your master shot is. That basically, again, 41.3% of putts basically are the biggest reasons why people lose 20 to 25% or gain 20 to 25% efficiency in their game. You know, over half of those are within 3 to 5 feet. Mm-hmm. Again, what do you feel in our presentation is our 3 to 5 foot putt? I want you to write that down. What is our 3 to 5 foot putt? What is our master shot for our presentation? Which means if you get really good at that, you're going to gain 20, 25% efficiency like that. If I master just that one thing, what am I going to gain 20, 25% efficiency in? Because again, this is just like real life, right? It's sales. We're reducing it to the ridiculous to break it down before we can build it back up. It's the best way to analyze yourself. Absolute best way to analyze yourself.
What's that called? Reverse engineering?
Reverse engineering. I just sometimes got to bring it to you in tricky ways. So the same thing. Say the same thing 1,000 different ways. The same message 1,000 different ways, just to make it sound more interesting.
Ooh.
Sales, right? I got to sell you guys. You got to go out and sell other people. All right, next. Since we got that, how do we simplify our approach and focus on your biggest payoff activities, not mine, on your biggest payoff activities? How do you simplify your approach in the house, let's call it? We're going to training. You want to talk about training? You want to talk about the house? How do you simplify our approach and focus on your biggest payoff activities? So in other words, how would you go about perfecting your master shop? What could you do? How would it look like? Why would you do it? What would you be hoping to gain? What would it make a difference in? That's why your writing ties exactly into the last question, which is what part of your sales process is the core you need to master that will make the biggest effect in your results? Kind of works the same thing. What is the core that you need to master that when you focus on will make the biggest effect in your results? Welcome to goal setting. This isn't a big, hairy, audacious goal. This is a BA. No, there's no BA. Again, the purpose why I'm doing this is to simplify your approach. In a presentation, if you start thinking about too many things and there's too much to cover and too much to miss, sometimes if we narrow our focus, we can be more successful, right? Keep it simple, successful. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, whatever you want to call it. Okay? So again, sometimes we try to overcomplicate things. Sometimes I have a tendency to take it to class 401 or 501, which is talking about like audio, kinesthetic, basically visual learners, how to settle them in. It might be over where our capabilities at some point. Some of us might be right on to it. Some of us have already heard and mastered it. But again, there's different levels of where we're all at. So it's important we realize why I want you to do that and what do you think your master shot of your biggest payoff activity is. Everybody got that written down? Okay. Mark, I want you to count off groups, and I want you to take that information into your group, and then we're going to explain to you what we're going to do next. So go ahead and count. How many teams? Break it into like 4. How many people is there? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 13, so just do it in 4 groups.
4 groups?
Yep.
Banish to the other table.
Land of the Misfit Toys. All right, so what I want you guys to do when you get in your groups, it's going to be twofold. Number one, I want you each to share what you wrote down on the paper. So again, backing up, what are your highest leverage activities? And then what is your 3 to 5 foot putt? And then how would you work on mastering that? Okay? That's what I want us to all share in here. And again, this is something, it's your career. It's how you make money. It's how you feed your family. Again, take it very serious and watch. And then what I want you guys to do is I want to hear some feedback first, and then we're going to show you the second part of this. Okay? So take about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and go ahead and share with each other and see what we come up with.
I think you're internalizing you have both. If I was going to say Freud, that's what I'd say. You should be throwing
So
you won't see emotion activity or something. What do I say? When somebody says, "Oh, my windows are falling out." You know what I think we're going to get beat up a little bit. You walk into a situation, this is if I don't mess this up, what is that? Dude has light perception, you have to have two different lights. What do you want to do? That would be a 3 foot.
I would love it.
You know what I'm saying? What do you consider a 3 to 5 foot? Well, yeah, like, so if you see, like, what is something you know that you're you got the most leverage over this person. Is that mold? The highest level.
So I put questions, inspection, and then what are you gonna do? An extra shot? And then have an extra shot. And then what inside process before, it's worth
Yeah, I guess if I want to do the process. I can ask all questions. First thing that came to mind is Crystal, I think, just like from the day, what's the next activities for me?
I look at each
Sometimes I have to ask for something. Simple time approach for me was carefully reiterating to make sure what it is that we're offering.
What about the end? You like it.
Inspections. If I don't do an inspection, the likelihood of me very small. My last year, bringing in the old one. Never get out. Yeah, I think about it. No, I mean, bring in the old one. I relax on it.
So much. Of course.
And then what goes in for
The biggest effect on your results is I get hired guys for bigger projects. And I do those things forever. I do a good job. Find things like that. Do an inspection. Now I can upsell them on why they do this. There's the real we're real contractors. They're essentially the same people. So you get into all that sort of value. Leverage activities and concentrate on reporting credibility.
Yeah, make the main.
So what is simplify our
All right.
So that's the last.
For me,
Yeah.
Danny, you just said the right thing. Not a right act. Have to wait for someone to do something.
I know that
Last week, and I mean, you were there.
give them a like.
I used to actually master shot. And then yes. They roll play. I guess.
They're not terrible.
When you've got. Sometimes it's like so hard. Well, maybe we can do it. On Monday, never use AC, never use.
Interesting that one of the on this so hard.
And that's what I see.
Yeah.
Well, we want that to help
I don't think it's.
So inspection of our homes.
That's the biggest thing is like. Do you want this type of window? No. Your neighbor has it. Most people make that choice. Before I show them, you probably don't know anything about windows. Probably don't recreation. I'm gonna show you real quick what the shit windows, what a garbage window looks like. So you if you don't buy mine, let them know. So yeah, bringing in a competitor window is, I do that every single time.
What's your solution? Leave it in the house, bring it in, go out and do the inspection. So it doesn't look freeze. Typically, you see neighborhood, you show your neighbor, bring it out outside, and show them on the outside.
I try not to look like I have an agenda. So I take everything under conversation. Yeah, let me go grab some. It doesn't feel so. Yeah, no, like, it's like, I'll show you the trees. Oh, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm full. I got one. We would grab it. It's a little, you know, you can't slow it. You can make it a little bit more. I mean, you know, and at that moment, we're talking about your window. Hold up. I'll get it. You know, because they're thinking about it. Doesn't matter what you're talking about, whether it's fog or fucking glass. You know, you've got something to show. Fog over, and you just go every single you go you want to know why everybody's $500 this is that. Yeah, I just want to it's a fucking big ordeal, dude. And I never heard from it's like, we're just going to talk. Show you pictures of you. Show you that. I need to. Okay.
Well,
And then you get to that point where it's like, every time I have permission to go back out to the truck. So like, I'm walking. No, you're gonna make a decision. God, you make this one. Yeah. No. Give me a lay it on there. These are the ones you want. These are all things. Show me the house. I get there. I gotta look and say, gee, I know which way is clear. I know which one always sound. What you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
And then when they walk the whole house, I'm walking outside and see yeah, sometimes. When we're doing an initial walkthrough, you can have to take pictures. I think you can do but like, I find that people are a little bit more out of it, so they walk up and read a box of rules. I gotta do, I mean, it's trying to tell everybody out. I mean, they're not on your heels like. All defensive. I don't even know what I'll go with it. You want me to? Measure the whole house. I really just wanted to do these ones. Yeah, you don't have to do them all. Why don't we do the ones that Bruce has spent most of the time? Ask him whether it's not as two windows, one door, wasn't it? 6 side windows. But eventually, it's like, after, 3 years, probably out of it.
We're ready to go.
There's no feedback on it. There are previous customers. There is a previous customer. But no, I mean, the inspection, you know. I'm gonna walk around and they'll open the blinds. I mean, not that you're gonna, I mean, just let me open the blinds. You want to see the door, shit. Whoa. Well, the inside I'm doing with initially, you know, without walking through the scene. Then I tell them I'm going to do an inspection. Yeah. We just walk around and make sure I don't see anything like you did. They're more apt to listen to yeah, it was. Yeah, it makes hammering away a lot easier. I don't really argue. Like I don't hassle. And I see it. Nobody gets sold a Rolex. You know, like seriously, like you don't get sold a fucking Rolex or anything. If you're calling color or you're calling intercept. I would say that they're using like high leverage, easy but something that you can see takes care of their house. I.e. they receive it. Little. I mean, you see these things, you gotta care about those. I did, yeah. Well, I mean, by the time they take that, pricing.
And
But
it's
you know, when you're doing the inspection, you find something that
What we're gonna do, we're gonna pick one of them, you randomly choose commitment to need. Okay. And then closing date. And we're gonna have them roll through a point.
Okay, so each one of them, so each would handle. Okay, so you want need, resolution, trust, and
The closing date.
close being
Commitment
pre-close?
to, commitment to value.
Okay. The need, resolution, so I want to go need, trust, resolution, value. This was actually fun. I put together all my drive for Desco. That's my Renault, irons for wedges, sand trap. All I use is
You got out without sound. Right, like, hey, there's gold here.
Go ahead, put it up here.
Yeah.
We triggered.
We do the window.
So those are ones that you need a good one, because why did you even graduate this? You obviously have it. Whereas you work nights, right? So you sleep all day. Where do you sleep? As high as you You know, they're not thinking about doing the whole house. It's completely, they have maybe that one area that's hot as shit, or getting up or cold. You know, if you keep something. I think we're going to window out here for us, not because of this, but I also see. You know, you gotta just zero it down. Yeah, I mean, there's no catching the line or anything that's gonna change something. Like, honestly, like, you gotta look at stuff. But with proximity, go back to the issue. This door's leaking, jacking up your floor, blah, blah, blah. You know, the one thing that you do wait, it's gonna cost you more money.
They've already had. Well, probably the
I've said some.
go wrong. But they're. started off.
You can use that photo. You're going to create. You got to gain a commitment to the
I haven't received any strange messages in 4 or 5 days.
Really?
I tried to post myself from Saturday and it didn't go through either.
Did you get a number or anything change?
No.
I'll remove and add you again real quick.
I don't know if you're fired, you just forgot to tell me.
No, I didn't do that yet. Just kidding.
Mark said I was still on the list. I called him up, hey, what's going on?
Now I would say you've been removed from the list.
So,
It tells you.
So you can, if you want to build it and leave, just a simple replacement.
you got to recycle some tea.
Go to the values.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, did you get everybody sectioned out?
Yeah. So based on that. So they're gonna start with so they can redo this. I want to make things that way.
Start with
You can't do that.
We got swinging away.
Because if there's a metal frame, you need a plastic one is the rust. It's not aluminum, but it's steel. It looks like the window. Did you have one?
All right, everybody got their individual stuff? All right, guys. So what we're going to do is each one of you guys got a segment Mark gave you guys. So we're going to do a presentation. We've got about an hour. We got a presentation that we're going to do from the beginning to the end, and each table is responsible for their own section of the presentation. Okay? We're going to miss the first. Hi, John and Mary. I'm Dustin Rhodes with Dreamstar Modeling. How you doing today? We're going to miss that. Unfortunately, stepping over the threshold. Beautiful house. How long you owned it for? Going to take a stick of dynamite to get you out of here, right? I didn't catch you guys on a bowling or soccer night. We're missing that. We're starting with commitment to need, which is the inspection, which is right here. So your commitment to need, this is the need, okay? And then we're going to do commitment to trust, which means the group's going to come up and they're going to have their iPad and they're going to present the company and build the trust side of it. And then we're going to also do the commitment to resolution, which is the product side and the solution side of it. And then the last group is going to be pretty much the closing table, okay? Closer's paradise, whatever we want to call that thing. Commitment to value, commitment to give to get. That's your that's that part. Commitment to value, commitment to give to get. That's basically the next section. So again, we start with need, and we're going to end with the closing table or give to get, and we're going to go from there. So I want everybody to come up. You can take a few minutes, talk about how you're going to do it, but you guys put it in real life mode, not, all right, guys, this is Rust here, and this is a drip. Like you're in a house. Practice like you play, okay? What I want everybody to do is I want everybody to try to pick something up from each segment of it. Okay? After each segment's done, we'll real fast, because we don't have a lot of time, what do we do good? What could we do better? What do we learn from it? And what advice would we give maybe on top of it? Not killing anybody or talking about what they did so bad, offering advice on what do we do good? What could we have done better? And then basically, what do we learn moving forward so we all benefit from it? Make sense? All right. So commitment to need, right?
Yeah.
The first one?
Yep.
That's-
So do you want, so when we're up there,
You're gonna
we're
inspect-
just gonna go back and forth on what you asked the customer.
You're gonna do it as you're talking to a customer. Basically, Mark's the customer.
I'm more of a flat eye to see what
Yep. Wait. Yeah, that pen is down there.
Then you'll be perfect.
Yeah,
No one's taking it.
This is right up my alley.
Yeah.
it works. Okay. Okay, well, Mark, where do I even begin?
I don't know. What's wrong with my windows?
Well, do you think that these look okay?
Well, they're,
We're gonna be looking at,
they kind of look okay.
they kind of look okay. You don't see gaps, unsealed edges?
No, I do see the gaps.
Okay,
Is that bad?
well, yeah, it is.
Okay.
To be honest with you, it is. This goes back to the improper install. This is called, do you know what a retrofit is?
I've heard of it.
Okay. Do you know what that means?
If I remember right, when they put it in, they actually put the frame on top of the old frame that was there.
Do you think that that would be the right thing to do? Put one window over top of another one?
Well, at the time, it seemed like it was a good idea.
Okay, well, clearly we're at a different stage, right? Okay, do you see all of the rust here? Do you know why that could be happening?
Nope.
Where does rust come from?
Water.
Okay, so if it's rusty and water causes rust, what do you think is going on in that frame?
There's water inside the frame.
Is that good?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay, so what happens here is with this style of install, which is not a valid install at all. What happens is they come in and they actually pop in a plastic frame or polymer window over top of your original aluminum. So you have two windows in one. Congratulations. You have the original aluminum underneath, and then you have a polymer over top. The reason that this is rusting, can you take a guess on why it's happening? I know the water's there, but
Probably because the original aluminum.
correct. It's the most conductive material in the world, I do believe, besides copper and water.
Okay.
So if you've got the original frame underneath there, it's going to do exactly what it's supposed to do. Science doesn't lie. It's the same thing. Walking early in the morning, late at night, what's the first thing you see on a fence post or on the hood of your car early in the morning?
Do.
Okay. So just because this is covered up, do you think that science is going to stop?
Nope.
Okay. So every morning and every night, you've got this frame collecting water. Now that this is popped over top and it's caulked in, where do you think that water dries out? Do you think it dries out?
Must not if there's rust.
Okay, that's exactly true, and that's exactly why this is happening. Have you previously patched this underneath the window before?
That was done before we moved in, so
Okay.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure why these have been patched underneath the window
Correct.
with all of this rust? Do you not assume that that is probably previous water damage?
I don't know, it was before we moved in.
Okay, been in the industry a long time. I can tell you that this is water damage, previous water damage, but yet they haven't cured or resolved the number one reason why this is happening. So it's a vicious cycle. So if you can see and if you can understand, when water has nowhere to go, it's only the gravity is going to take over and it's going to start filling up the aluminum perimeter frame that's still underneath there. It's going to start to fill up. And then it's going to nowhere to go because it's sealed in there. And now you're having all the water issues in your knee wall. Yeah. So you have no idea this was the previous owner?
It was already like that.
Okay. Have you noticed any other problems? This is a second story. Have you noticed any problems in the below room? Ceiling?
No, I haven't noticed anything.
Okay, well, I can tell you that there's probably some hidden damage underneath there, just by what I see. You got the rust, you got all this. Do you see how this is unsealed underneath here?
I do.
Yeah. They say that we swallow about 13 spiders a year or in our lifetime. This is exactly why it's not sealed. There's air infiltration. Yeah, thanks for calling. Let's get this done. No, I've got some questions. I mean, who else wants to add? I got more.
Right at the end, jump in and get the commitments needed.
Yeah.
So you got.
So if there's nothing that we agree on today, we do agree that these windows definitely need to be switched out.
Okay, so what are you gonna do? How are you gonna switch those out? You just
Okay, that goes to.
put a new one right over top?
Oh, absolutely not, sir. We'll get to that in a minute. You're gonna love what I have to show you.
That's table 3.
That's table 3. Yeah. Does anybody else have any? I mean, I could keep going, but.
Keep going. There's more.
The compassion in your voice, Dan.
Yeah, because you don't
I mean,
hear it.
just giving it to him how it is.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I'm tired of being nice.
I can see that.
I'm tired of being nice. I want to be their friend, and I'm not going to be friends anymore. I got to tell them. Yeah, come on, you got to be joking. You think this looks good? Like, just laugh. I would just destroy the install, the frame. I talk about the polymer, the trim. It's all trapped in. Where does the water go? It's going to fill up. Science doesn't lie. You know, and I would bring out my iPad. I would show them the pictures that JC posted. This is what we go through. Our guys have to wear a respirator when they take these out because it's usually full of water and mold. Does anybody in your house have allergies?
No.
Well, this could cause it. Again, it's you got to destroy the retro, what's underneath there. You got to build the pain, the urgency, all of the possible hidden damage, because literally, if you see rust is only caused by water, and even though aluminum doesn't rust, they're probably using interior drywall screws because they're subcontractors and they pay for their material themselves. They're gonna cheap out. So that is actually caused. It can be caused by the aluminum or a screw that we would use. It's supposed to be stainless steel. So that tells you right there that there's the material that they're using on the inside is low grade, and it's improper.
These are probably inexpensive windows.
Mm-hmm. These are probably inexpensive windows, yes. And then to the table.
So let's time out, because now she's random. So
Mhm.
she kind of was done, and then we're asking her to keep going, so let's stop that. So real quick, group, you know, what did she do good?
Kept asking questions.
I thought she was phenomenal at that, actually. So she
Thank you.
kept going at the pain, then asking a question, asking, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Do you understand? Do you know why? And she was drilling him to an extent and being very direct, but like sometimes that's what you need to do. You know, at the end, they're calling you out because you're the expert. And if you circle around stuff too much, then that can hurt.
Mhm.
So again, I really liked the direction you went to. Some people might be a little harsh, but for most times, if you walk into it, if you do an inspection, you know, the verbal and the passion and enthusiasm and explanation coming out of it, if you try to take it to logical terms like science, I thought it was good. It was really good.
Well, again, I'm in front of my peers. It's a little different when I'm actually just with the two customers. I'm a little less harsh, but I'm just as direct.
I think directness is a big thing. So, yeah, so what else? What else did you guys pick up on?
Credibility in assessing what may have happened earlier, you know, with patching and so forth.
Well, I would have started by letting them know I have 27 years in the industry, and right there, then they stop, you know, well, what could she possibly know? Unfortunately, I have to do that because I'm a female and this is a male-dominated industry.
Right.
So when I start talking, and I'll let them know, if you've got some technical construction terms, I'm gonna follow right along. So do you know anything about construction? Because I can tell you how your house is built from the sill plate all the way up to the trusses and everything in between. And then they're like, okay. So then the credibility is, I've been doing this for so long, or in the industry for so long, I can tell you this has been previously patched.
You didn't give the solution.
I didn't do the Band-Aid.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Yeah.
And that's what I tend to do.
Let me ask you, did you believe her when she was doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did she have conviction?
Oh, yeah.
No.
The rest of her team's pretty weak. I like Hauser's contribution.
I feel like a shirt. So what could have been done better? I'd like to hear from Nick.
Take it to the interior, ask about what, if we see this happening on the exterior, are you seeing anything on the interior?
I did ask
Can you
on the bottom
imagine?
floor just because it came down that
Right.
wall and second floor. But again, we just started with the outside.
Yeah.
Tell me, talk to me, what do
Maybe
I need
more
to know?
questions about water infiltration. I mean, clearly there's some signs of some damage here. What have you guys noticed? I mean, we don't normally get rain. We don't get a lot of rain, because last year was pretty rainy. Did you notice water cooling on the interior? Were you having problems with that? I mean, you
Well,
know,
then that
it
would
should
be the
it should
interior
you should be having
inspection.
those problems based on what I'm seeing here, so you tell me, you know?
Right, but I would have noticed that or asked that probably if we were on the inside.
Right.
There's questions for the interior and there's questions for the exterior.
No, I mean, just, hey, look, these windows are shit, they're warped, they're clearly leaking. I mean, what have you noticed?
Yeah,
You know, because they're not gonna notice it usually on the outside, they'll see it on the inside when they have to put the towels down,
right.
you know?
What about asking the whole reason why you're out there? I mean, there wasn't a lot that he had noticed. Why exactly did he find the problem?
Well, sometimes I'm getting that question answered at the table.
Yeah.
I'm doing my warm up, my questions, just finding out the why. You know, guys, people are not electing just because upgrade or the windows are fine, we just want new. People are not willy-nilly just to spend $20,000, $30,000 just cause. There's a reason why I'm out here, unless you just want an extra friend by the end of the day. That's cool. There's certain things that I will ask them, but I'll ask them before we're going out and beating the shit out of this
So
window.
we take that, right? So again, you got something?
I was just gonna ask, I was curious if those windows, it looks like they shrunk an opening or something because the stucco doesn't match. So I'm curious as to, do you know what?
Well, I did address that, and that could have been a reason, but then if they shrunk an opening, if they went through all of that, I don't think they would have retrofit, they would have done a new construction flange. So I can tell that they haven't, they've just patched this. This is an ongoing issue and it's going to be a cycle. If they just take this out and put in another one, the problem is not gonna go away. The culprit and the number one reason why this is happening is the aluminum frame. It has to be collapsed, that you have to tear it down. It's going to continue doing what it's doing. And
There's actually see where you see all the moisture going below that thing?
Right
You see
here?
all this moisture? See, one other thing, if you guys are done, I'll share with you the one thing I saw, there's two areas that I thought could be a little bit better, but for the most part, it's really good. And you walk into that inspection, it shows why you were, did what you did last year. So good job. But the two things I saw is number one.
Oh, it's clear from over here.
Tie basically a dollar value to what some of the potential pain could be, right? So if you don't do it, this is what could happen, and this could cost extra thousands of dollars that keeps getting down the wall, because this is going to roll right down the plate of the house, causing some major damage, especially here on the corner. We're tapping it out on just this window, but you can see it start to happen on this one too, right? So we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. Sometimes they were basically $2,000 to $10,000 plus just to reframe and restucco and make sure we're taking care of all these other things.
if we don't get to this, you're scared something like that might happen. Right? So you can put that on steroids a little bit more, right? Second thing is when you pick up and you got him to suck him in a little more, because he was kind of quiet. You would ask him and then he'd give yes or no answers. To suck him in a little bit more. It says, yeah, how long has that been going on, buddy? Well, I don't know. I just noticed it. Wow. So, I mean, you walk by here, probably not on this side of the house very often. Now that you're looking at it, how does that make you feel?
Because chances are all of the windows look like this.
Yeah. So again, but how does that make you feel? You want to put him in the situation, right?
Yeah.
So,
First
obviously,
pocketbook.
knowing that you didn't know anything, knowing that how fast this has gotten away from you, you probably don't even know where to start to begin, right? So will we agree these windows definitely need to be replaced based on what we're seeing? So again, you're punching them in the face in a nice way, but I'm sucking them in too.
And I'm not just saying this, but once I started talking about the previous patching, because of the stucco, I would probably gone that way.
Yeah.
Because if this is starting to peel away, you got to back out the paper. What about all the damage that could be in there? They probably, if they did this to your house, chances are they didn't go beyond the paper and look at the actual 2x4s and the knee wall underneath there.
Yeah.
So what do you think could possibly be
So
happening?
let me get you in a thought pattern in this process, right? Which is why I like doing this. Again, fantastic
I love it
job.
too. I love it too.
Especially based, I love by getting a thought pattern and process into here's it, right? So we're talking about mastery. So if I'm, let's say you saw me at a fair where somebody knocked on the door and basically came out to it. What about that inspection would take me from 6 months to a year from now to today? That's what you got to ask yourself. What about that inspection that you did would take me from 6 months to a year to 2 years to thinking about it, to never even thinking about it, to making me want to do something today?
Well, I got to tell you, in my experience, this is probably the worst I've seen.
In the 27 years I've been doing this.
In the 27 years I've been in the industry, this is probably the worst I've ever seen. Yeah. And whose room is this? It could be the kids. It could be nanny's room, in-laws. Yeah, you can bring the pain. But again, I'm just looking at. I don't know what's going on the inside.
Exactly right. And it's not there just to get your brain going at
Yeah.
this part, right? Because getting your brain going at this part's it. Remember, 8-11 receptors of the brain are based off fear. They're based off gain, which is why if you start going towards the basic solution here, you're losing all the value you just built. You're not putting yourself in a position to succeed yet. When you break the window out, that's when you need to start going over how we're going to remove the frames and do the different things that's in there. You start selling too early here, all the good work you did, all the mastery, all basically, 50 putts that we made at 3 foot are worthless now because now it's irrelevant to the situation. So we've already talked about how we're going to fix it. And now my brain's focused on the solution, not wearing that while I'm inspecting the other windows, thinking that the rest of them are falling apart.
Right. And Mark, you did a good job when I came back, going through the training. Is when we would go to a window, I would start to put the Band-Aid on, and now I'm learning it's all about the window that you're looking at. That is it, nothing more. Nothing about what we do should come into play. You are destroying what you see here and why this could be happening.
And the I, me, my's you used, by the way, were okay because they were leaning credibility. They were leaning credibility towards the situation, not just I do this and I've done this and I've done that.
Right.
Yeah, that's different. And this one, you're leaning credibility to yourself because you're trying to build up why you're qualified to share this with them.
Correct.
So that's okay.
The one thing, so you spent a lot of time, I really like the fact you talked about the installation method. This is your great opportunity to be able to talk about killing vinyl. The fact that you got the warping, I know, and I've seen you do it quite a bit. You talk about stucco, and the fact that it absorbs a lot of heat, produces a lot of heat. You get the glass, and you can see the warping that's going on.
That's comical. That's comical.
Oh, absolutely. I would have used that opportunity to be able to talk about why vinyl is not a good choice. There's a great example of why vinyl should never be used.
Contractor grade, industry standard vinyl, because I'm not going to beat up vinyl too much because I'm going with Impervia first. And if I have to fall back on that train, I don't want to beat up vinyl too much to have them go, well, I hate vinyl now. You can say polymer or whatever, but this is an industry standard your
It's
low
it's
grade.
vinyl everywhere else we carry call.
Correct.
That's right.
Correct. So, yeah.
Because Dan says there's some underlying reflectivity paint, something that,
That's
there's
right.
something that does the thing.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
That
when
then
do you introduce
activates
the
that
reflash?
Yeah.
When's the
I
first?
would introduce the reflash after we're done with the inspection and then when we start the company.
Right.
Start the company, then we're gonna go through it, that's when we're gonna break out and talk about the video, then we get taken back outside again, which is a perfect thing to do. When you got your window out, because now you're getting them involved into the resolution, you're not keeping them basically mind track, because if you start talking about how you're gonna install the window at the window, they're not gonna know what the hell you're talking about, they're gonna shake their head and say, okay, sounds legit.
Well, but that's selling too early too,
Yeah.
so I don't even talk about that until we sit down. I'm just talking about what we see.
Yeah.
What do we see? What problems do we see? How can it be happening? Ask questions. And then if he's like, oh, well, what do you guys do? I'm glad you asked. We're gonna get to that in a minute. You're gonna love what I have to
The
show you.
pictures in the presentation that show the retrofit and the problems with retrofit.
Thank you,
just
Jason.
Tie right back in that situation
Yeah.
again on the reasons why we don't need to. Now, let me share with you that. Remember, it's like birthday. If I already know what's in the present and I'm gonna open it at the end of it on Christmas, I already know what's in there. It's not so fun to open that present on Christmas. But if I don't know what it is and what it's all about, if I gotta wait till the end to open it up, now I'm gonna be excited when I get to open it up. So don't show your solution too early. It's like unwrapping the present and telling you what's in your present before you open it. You gotta leave it for the end. That's what brings suspense.
Every birthday is a birthday.
Yeah, the
If
birthday.
you don't, the excitement's gone. Then they're like, can you just get through this? What about the price?
Yeah. Well, then another thing that you can do is you can take that sash out, which I did with you and that customer. She thought her windows were fine. And I said, do you mind? Do you think your windows are fine? She was like, yeah, they're brand new. There's nothing wrong with these. Well, let me show you what could be wrong with them. And I took the whole window out and I put it on the table. Her window, it's true, it's her product. She thinks it's great. I'm not making anything up. And she put her hand in there and she was like, oh my God, that is really hot. Said that window has no insulation in it, ma'am. And that again, not third party, but my experience, you know, showed her, oh God, she's right. She's right. She's right. So in the light kit, I would actually run upstairs and I would get this sash out and I would show them what they would be getting all over again with that subcontractor, that retrofit. And then I would show them what, and I would put their window right in there and show them and then put ours in there. So that would be a little bit
before and their windows actually block.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope.
You gotta know that is a crappy ass.
Yeah, that's not it, that.
Yeah.
No,
But
that's a
I
slippery
do
slope.
the sash thing.
Look at
if you're
the
old.
thing that you can do is look at the tinting on the glass. It looks
Yeah.
clear as day and you can feel the heat coming, feel the heat setting up in the room.
Do it all.
Pretty good chance you can get away with it.
Well,
Yeah.
if you sit on the table too, it's probably worked at that point too, so you can show.
Look at the dates.
Actually,
You can look at the dates,
actually,
you can
did
look
you
at the-
know, actually, did you know, a lot of the times they don't put low-E glass on new home construction buildings when they're doing it all because the heat because the glass will attract the heat to the outside of the frame causing it to work.
Causing that.
Which is why they make them all clear glass or slightly, just a slight modified tip. Because again, when you're attracting low-E glass, it absorbs heat at the surface, which causes the vinyl itself to heat up, which causes.
Which again goes back to, these are contractor
You
grade.
go into my place at Carl Valley, those windows are shit. They're vinyl, the old construction windows, but they are shit.
Oh, yeah.
Cut through like crazy. And I was sitting there, I was like, why didn't they put low-E glass in this? Because they keep the stupid heat off, right? And I walked down, I just asked them, why
Just
did you do this?
disperses
This is freaking ridiculous. It's on the roofs where you keep the blinds shut the whole time. And they're like, yeah, because the contractor told us it's gonna heat up the frame from the outside. And I was like, you're right. Because it doesn't. It warps the hell out of the frames in a short period of time.
I'm glad I did most of the talking, guys. You guys were a great help.
All right, thank you guys, appreciate it. All right, who's that?
I thought you were the grandfather with dimension that they will not build a window that you pay. You did a good job.
All right, table two, team two.
Is this the mic chair?
I don't know how you're gonna do a commitment to trust without a base of that. Unless you don't use it. And that would explain a lot.
Yeah, it's a little hard.
Mark, you talking? No, no more. Which iPad? No, yeah.
No pressure, guys.
No pressure, man.
You don't need any props, Mark. You're not a problem.
I am a problem. That's the problem.
Now what you gotta think of, this is the inspection that was just done. Now you gotta go back in and what's the purpose of the trust committee? What's the purpose of building trust after we've just done an inspection like that?
We're the
Yeah.
ones.
We want to tie in.
We are unique.
We want to tie in the stuff that our company does with what they just talked about during the inspection.
Why it's relevant to their situation, right? Why it's unique to their situation, why we're the company they should trust. Again, that's the purpose, is we're building the reason why no one else can do this except for us the right way. We did it.
Did it, baby.
You don't just do it to do it. You do it because there's a purpose behind each step you do. There's a difference. This is, what we're doing today is called not just getting the commitment, it's called owning the commitment. So by the time we're done with these, you're gonna know how to get them to own the commitment, not get the commitment. Action. That drives me nuts.
And go.
All right, where's my phone?
Action. Right here.
So you told us that when you bought the house, this was the window that was in there, is that correct?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. And we talked about rust being a problem. We don't know where it's coming from until we take that retrofit window out, right?
Well, you mentioned that it was most likely coming from the aluminum frame underneath, but I guess it could be more.
Well, aluminum doesn't rust, but cheap screws can rust. Drywall screws, because they're made of an iron-based material.
Okay.
Okay. It could also be that there's a steel frame behind there. We don't know until we get in there.
It's true.
Just the same way, what did we discuss about this under here? That there may be what in the wall?
Moisture.
It may be. We don't know until we see it. But what we can agree on, I believe, is that we have two sets of windows in a window frame set, a new window set in an old window frame. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm assuming from what you told me, you're going to be here for some time.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to do this more than once?
No.
Okay, because it's already been done twice, right?
Yeah.
We can see that. Okay. So the question is, how do we make sure that you only do this once? You know, we agree that these need to be replaced. That's not a question. So the question is, what is the solution? Sure. And who's going to give it to us? Okay. So you called us out, Dreamstyle. Do you know much about Dreamstyle?
Other than your advertisement.
Yeah, that guy there, he does a lot of our advertisements.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you calling us out. Let's take a look at some of the problems you've got here. We talked about this warping. I mean, so these are slides that we've taken from some of our previous jobs. Okay. You can see that these are windows that have been replaced, and we're replacing just like we're doing to you. And we want to avoid doing this another time. So, yeah, have you been to other companies, or you looked at windows from somebody else?
No, you're the first.
Okay.
Don't ask that, bro. There's why you don't ask that. You're just putting the idea in their mind.
Okay. All right. So, have you seen windows replaced before? Do you know what the process is?
They just told me.
Okay. As we discussed, this is a new window put in an old frame. So, in
Another
order.
way to ask that, have you ever seen a high performance window?
Okay.
You don't ask if you had any other companies, don't. You say that, you're inviting yourself to get another commitment. You're creating an objection that doesn't need to be.
Okay. Want to focus on us?
Yes.
Okay.
We're trying to get them to commit to having us do it, right?
Us do it.
Okay.
Yep.
We're doing company.
So if you're talking about company, you ask if you've ever had anyone else.
Right.
No, it just gives them, you just implanted an idea.
All right, good. Well, let's take a look at who we are for starters. Last 2 years, our company has been named the largest full-service residential remodeler in the United States. We've been in business since 1989. And we are a factory direct option for Pella Windows. And every one of our employees is a W-2 employee. Is that important to you?
Sure.
What I mean is, we don't use subcontractors, I'm sorry. Can you see how that benefits the homeowner?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, if you have a problem down the road, how many phone numbers would you like to have to find resolution to your problems?
Just one.
Just one? That's what we offer, because being a general contractor, every person who comes out to your home is an employee of our company. So if you need drywall inside, if you need stucco, those people are employed directly by us. And there's one point of accountability, or what we call one throat to choke. So we do not offer the windows and refer you to somebody else to put them in. No subcontractors on your job. They've been drug tested, background checks, fingerprinted. We'd like to know who comes into your home. Is that important to you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, fine. So we put in over 185,000 windows and doors in the last 5 years in San Diego and Orange County. This is all we do in our company, just replacement windows and doors. I suppose warranties is something that you thought about?
You're telling, not selling.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, warranty is definitely important.
Okay, we'll explain that as we get down the road here. So I think it's important, if you want to only do this once, that we do this right. We're going to remove this window, and then we believe we're going to find another frame under that.
Lamar, that is an old,
It's an old keynote.
That's an old keynote.
I've got February 12th, February 8th, February 12th. That's what I got. April 2nd. That's the one. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should have a white front on. Okay. Just keep going on what you have.
All right. Your home presents some unique issues. Can we agree that we've seen work done here before? All indications tell us that, correct? These are on the second floor. And is it important to you that we have to carry our own insurance and things like that, so you're not liable for any injuries that happen on the job?
Why, does it happen a lot?
It happens. Does it matter if it happens? Well, excuse me. Yes, it does happen a lot. But if it happens to you, how do you think that would be handled if you have a subcontractor on the job?
I don't know. Never happened to me.
Well, if you were doing this job on somebody else's house, you fell down and broke your leg and couldn't support your family, do you think you'd look to the homeowner for resolution?
Perhaps.
Okay, all right. When you hire a full-service company, we offer the full service of insurance, service, warranties, things like that. Are those important to you?
Sure.
Okay. Once again, one throat to choke. Let's talk about installation for a minute. We talked about the problems that this presents, the water management system. The rust is something we can't determine until we get in there. But when windows are improperly installed, and as we see here, boom. These are the things that we see. These are pictures from our actual jobs.
This is, by the way, you're mixing too much in the very beginning part.
Okay.
Because right now, the whole thing you're doing is you're trying to sell why Dreamstar Vermont is capable of handling their current situation and what they're doing. You're mixing a lot of it in with the products, which is, I kind of know where you're going, you're trying to tie it all back in together, I get what you're doing. But you need to simplify this approach.
Okay.
Why is Dreamstar capable of handling this project, and why should they trust us, and why would they spend $50 hard money with us?
Okay.
Fastest way to get to point from A to Z. Let me ask you a question, Mark. You know, next time you do a project like this, you know, obviously you see a lot of different things that, you know, Dana went over an inspection, and when we found on the inspection, what you call us out here today or allow us to come on and take a look at, you know, what's going to cause you to spend $1 of your hard-earned money with anyone that you're going to trust to do a project like this?
I just want to make sure it's done right. I don't want to have to deal with this.
When you say right, what does that mean to you?
I want it done correctly. You know, I don't want, like you were saying, the warping. I don't want that. I don't want any damage to my house. I don't want to have to fix anything. I want this done right the first time. And I want to make sure, you know, when you guys are done, if I ever have to call someone, then I'm just going to make that one phone call.
So great. Now I can repeat back the things he said, then I present my company story based on everything he just said.
That's an open-ended question you're asking, not a yes, no question.
Yep.
That was the biggest difference. That's the most you talked the whole time.
If I'm saying it, it's a lie. If
Right.
he's saying it, it's the gospel. I have to get him to open up top.
Okay.
And then I say, okay, Mark, you know how you said this was important to you, right? Let me share with you some credentials of Dreamstar Vermont. I think you're gonna love this, it's gonna be really relevant to the situation. I promise not to boy. I'll go quick, okay? And then boom, then you're moving down. You've been around since, 1989. We're actually the largest full-service remodeling company in 2017 and 2018. Accessing well over $100 million worth of business, right? Again, you can trust us to be around when it does come down to the project, right? Or say if something does go wrong, it's not a matter if, it's a matter when something needs to be serviced. Yeah, definitely how many numbers do you want to call, right? So you're getting into it right through there, so you got to get him to own it. What you're doing, you're owning the whole presentation.
Right.
He's not owning anything.
Okay.
How do you relate that company? So this is why we're doing it, though.
Right,
That's
exactly.
why this is good, because I guarantee you're not the only person doing that. Okay? Because again, remember, verbal vomit is not selling. Verbal vomit is not selling. How do I pull him into it? Just like I was talking about on the inspection, how do I pull him into it? Okay? Somebody else take over. Somebody else do one real quick. I want somebody else to redo it. I'm not that I'm shutting you down.
No,
I
it's
just want a
fine.
different voice.
I can handle it.
Okay, good morning. Dave or Mark Lansky up there.
Mark Lansky up there.
That's you get for sitting down.
Shut up.
Your time will come.
All right, company story, come on.
You've heard of my company before?
Just, yeah, the advertisement.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. One of the oldest and largest companies in the world and in the United States. We're a full service company, which means we've got insurance for everything. With this particular situation that we have here, I'm gonna have guys up on ladders replacing this window for you. And they're all employees of the company. The company's combined with Dreamstar Remodeling and Pella Window Company, we're over 125 years old. There's a reason for that. A lot of companies come and go, and you're not going to get the ongoing service that you need to have. If you ever need any service with any of our products, you have one phone number to call. You can call me directly, or you can call our office, but we'll be right on it, and we'll send a service tech out just as soon as possible. With a warranty from a company that we have, we not only warranty the window, but we also warranty the labor that installed that window. Would that be something that would be important to you?
Sure.
You know of any other construction companies that offer a lifetime warranty on the labor and installation of the work that they do? It's unheard of in our industry, and that's what kind of separates us from all the other companies. With knowing what you know about our company and the service and the warranty that's involved, is this something that you'd like to make an investment with in your house?
Well, you still haven't explained to me how you're gonna remove that window. How are we fixing that?
Fixing the particular problem that we have here?
Yeah. So
We're gonna
you're not gonna
remove-
retrofit, right?
No,
Okay.
no, we don't do that type of an installation. We're one of the few companies.
So what are you
to my
gonna do?
knowledge, one of the only companies. We remove this entire frame. We're gonna take that out, And the subframe that's under there now from the old window installation, and I don't really know, but I'm guessing that from the warpage here where this has not been sealed correctly, also from the rust residue, there's a frame under that. We're also going to extract that from the actual dwelling that you have, put down a new moisture barrier and reseal that up on the inside and the outside. And with that comes the lifetime warranty for our labor.
Oh.
So you'll never have to do that again. In fact, that window will be in place and you and I will be looking at each other in heaven and waving, and it'll still be good in action there for you. Does that sound like the type of job that you'd like to have done?
That comes with a lifetime?
Lifetime warranty, that's right, on both the product and the labor. I lost my train of thought, unfortunately.
Yep, sounds good.
When you, yeah, thank you for bringing that up. But,
So let me ask you here, who uses the Keynote or version of Keynote? Somebody get up there that showed me that uses the Keynote and show me the Keynote. Because I need to see somebody perform on the Keynote. Because again, no offense, Mark, verbal vomit will make them forget at the end of it, right? I need to see pictures, I need to see validation, I need to see steady, right? Statistic, testimonial, expert opinion, analogy, design, what you put into it, right? If you don't see that, and as a customer, I don't feel comfortable, right? So I want to make sure that's the reason why that's there. It's not for you, it's for them. And if it's for them, I'm not doing them any favor if I don't at least, even if I just say that and I breeze through it, I at least need the visual content there with it, because visual content's going to help me be more successful, because it's going to let them feel more comfortable. If they don't feel more comfortable when they see it, then literally I'm basically going to verbal vomit on them, and then I become me. I'm buying at that point, I'm buying Mark Lance, which is not a bad thing, but I'm buying Mark Lance and I'm buying the words you're saying, not what I'm saying. Something about when you connect words to verbal makes a big difference. Okay? So if we I want to think about it, I don't make rash decisions, or I'm going to get 2 or 3 other estimates. If we don't show this, we deserve it.
Now, are you at a table when you're doing
Yes.
the commitment?
Yeah.
Okay.
He sits down, I've watched him.
Okay. 'Cause
Right. Yeah, we sit down and I go through the keynote presentation too, depending on the client.
Right.
You've got to kind of wing that with who you're dealing with. Some people don't have the patience for it. Some people just eat it up and love it. In which case,
Well, what I would do is if his main concern is either red or whatever.
Yeah.
You want to address the why. You don't want to get into things that he's not concerned about. He's concerned about the install. So the first thing that I would do is I would bring up a little bit about this right here, go through all of that, and then his question was about our install. He's wanting to see our install.
Right.
Show him this, show him a couple of credentials, and then show, I don't know if it works best as showing them our beautiful 3D video on how we do our install first, or I guess it depends, but I have a video that's 40 seconds long. So after I show them ours and they're totally involved, and then I go, this is the install that you have and why we don't do it. And I'll push play, and before they take a drink and they set that down, the video is already done.
Right.
Did you want that one?
Oh, I agree 100% about the keynote presentation, but that's not what we were actually here to do. We were here to invoke the confidence and why they would want to do business with us. So I didn't even break out the keynote.
Nobody's asked him how long he's owned the house. And that doesn't matter how you answer that. Either you just bought it and the inspector screwed you over by not pointing this out, or you did this. So tell me about some projects that you've overseen, problems that you've had.
Well, that was actually established with Dana earlier in the conversation.
I mean, like, that was, no one's asked him to expound on, how many times he's been jerked over by a contractor. Because then you're going to start listening to stories of that I'm going to tell you.
Sure.
Is where I'd go.
That's where you go. Somebody please do a keynote, a quick keynote. I don't need you to do 1,000 of them, or not 1,000 explanations.
Can I just use that?
If you want,
Okay.
or you could use mine.
I don't know yours. Well, maybe it's the same. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Because our time is.
Mark is Dustin.
Yeah.
I'm Dustin. Yeah. Our time is running thin and we got 2 more tables to go through. So go
Well, no,
through
I
it?
don't need to do it. I'm just saying, he's trying to get somebody to get up
Well,
and do
go
it.
ahead. Do it. You're up here.
You're on stage.
Okay, so, do you guys know what the number one most complained about industry is with the Better Business Bureau? And thanks for playing. Yeah, you got it right. It's the door and window, it's home inspection, it's home improvement. And then I go through this, blah, blah, blah. 96% of all contractors fail in the first 2 years. 80% of the consumers that are dealing with them have major problems getting their work done. It's that old robbing Peter to pay Paul. And 1 in every 25 contractors is actually still in business after 10 years. Does that concern you at all? Have you experienced problems like that before? Then I listen a little. Then I say, oh, it's mine. So I'd love to share a little bit about us. Pella, the number one largest window manufacturer in the United States of America, located in Pella, Iowa. The 2 things I like to take away are they have the number 1 highest satisfaction with JD Power and Associates for our customer service. And 8 years in a row, we won the Energy Star Partner of the Year. And to your point, you were really concerned with the heat in the house. And this is why we are the number 1 window manufacturer in the United States. A little bit about Dream Style Remodeling. Wow, I need that slide. So a little bit about Dream Style Remodeling. We are the number 1 remodeler in the United States of America. This is our 2nd year in a row with that prestigious award. As you can see, our footprint right here shows 185,000 installations that we've already done here in the San Diego area. We are a national company, but we're actually only located in 3 states. So we're the number 1 remodeler only in 3 states, tell you what kind of volume we are doing. Angie's List, we're their favorites. And we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. So how many numbers do you really want to call? I mean, if you have a problem, and it's really not, if you have a problem, it's when you have a problem. How many numbers do you want to call?
1. I think 1.
Thanks. So that's why we are a one-stop shop. We build it, we sell it, we manufacture it, and we install it all in one place. So you only have 1 number to call. So would you agree that whether you pay $5,000 for this window or $10,000 for this window, the most important thing about that window is the installation?
Why?
Why is it most important? Because if that window that's $5,000 or this window that costs $10,000 is installed incorrectly, does it matter how much they're selling it for or who's installing it?
How can you install it incorrectly?
There's a million. Thanks for asking, Lamar. There's a ton of different ways. And what you've already experienced is the wrong installation. So as far as installation goes, we are going to install this window by popping out the aluminum frame, using a flashing on the top so that you have the correct water and moisture barrier, and then doing a seal along the bottom. Then we replace that window. So that is the correct installation. As far as installation, all of our installers are master certified installers. They've had to install 2,000 windows and 500 doors before they can even come to work for us. Every job has a master installer. They're all W-2 employees, which means all of us have company benefits. We all work strictly for Dream Style Remodeling with no other company. All of them are drug tested and fingerprinted. Do you really want to know who's in your house? And especially with women, they all say yes. You guys, I know you're packing in the back, you know, you're not worried about it. But for the girls, they really do care. So you know everybody that's coming in your house. Have you heard of this? Have you heard of Kelley Blue Book? Oh, I know because I'm using my iPad because I don't know. So Kelley Blue Book. Have you used it before?
Okay. I don't want you to go any farther because now you're going to go into price conditioning and all that. So far, we've gone through, as far as I can tell, I don't remember if the need commitment was
Yes, you did.
asked. Okay, good. The trust commitment.
So do you feel 100% confident trusting Dream Style Remodeling to do this project for you?
Yes. There you go. All right. So next table. Now we're into resolution.
Okay.
You guys need anything on this?
So obviously, you know, when you're doing that, we'd be sitting at a table with the
Or podium.
Not standing up hungry. But I know it's weird in here, so just that way we know we're setting down and we're slowing down. That's what we just want to make sure. So good job. Thank you, Jason.
So, I mean, commitment to resolution has been obviously grazed on by several people before us, but I guess we're rounding that one off for you. So, a couple of things that we noticed, obviously, Dana did a great job with the inspection part of that, putting in a little corner there. The one part that we missed was whether or not you had purchased the window. We know that the water damage was done before you got there, but did you purchase and have that window installed, or was that done before you got there?
That was done before.
It was? Okay. Okay. So that was, so that was one thing we needed to. Okay. So based on what you learned today, at the end of our meeting, or based on what you learned today, how do you feel about DreamStyle and our installation processes?
I like it. I think it sounds a good idea.
Sounds like a pretty safe place to invest some of your money, especially on two windows that are clearly giving you problems, whether or not you knew about them beforehand. Looks like you inherited a problem and you've also helped the problem maybe move a little bit down the line without knowing it.
Correct.
But based on everything you've heard, it seems safe to us to tell you now that at the end of this meeting, we're going to ask you to take a calculated risk on our company to get this problem fixed for you. Do you understand what a calculated risk is?
I don't like the word risk, but go ahead.
Well, calculated risk from our position is obviously where you don't know exactly what the end result is, but you've been educated enough up front to know what you're getting yourself into. Do you agree that you're sitting in that position?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, understanding that the costs on these things, from what we've discussed as far as price conditioning, which should have already happened.
Sure.
Seems like these would be two great windows, if nothing else, at the end of our appointment today. We should seriously take a consideration on getting fixed right now. That way, if you do have to spend a little more for these two windows, you'll know that it was done right, and you'll be much more eased into the process of doing the rest of the house. Do you agree?
I agree.
Okay, great. So that's my commitment to resolution.
So
I just sold them two windows, so.
Put it on the thread.
Phase one.
Put it on group.
All right, so what's obviously, commitment to resolution is we don't have a window, but we're breaking the window out, right? Showing how the window's gonna solve the problems and challenges, right?
It seemed like that was the part in between all the groups that was kind of not.
Everybody kept trying to steal your thunder.
Yeah.
We don't wanna, when we're talking about the company, by the way, make it just the company. We're talking about the solution, resolution, make it just the resolution. Because then if you merge it all together, that's why it goes company, then it goes price impression, then it goes resolution. There's a reason that it's labeled like that. So when the company ends with the company, and the resolution has the resolution, then you're packaging them all together and asking that question.
Yeah, and this was just based on listening to what all the other groups said before us and trying to figure out how to do commitment to resolution when everybody else has pretty much already said all this stuff. Yeah,
They said it, which they can get their commitment.
So let's
can
we go on some assumptions?
Yeah, you did.
You did the demo, so we're gonna go with improvement.
All right, so based on everything, all of the initial questions and concerns that you had up front about the window, you said it was difficult to open, you're getting a lot of heat coming through there.
Right.
You didn't really, until Dana actually went and did the inspection, you really didn't recognize the damage and the problems that are caused with not only the plastic frame, but the fact that there's an aluminum frame underneath there.
Right. Yep.
So based on everything that we talked about and the different options, the different materials that are out there, it sounds like this Duracast is going to be the best solution for you as far as the durability goes.
Yeah.
It's not going to warp. It's not going to twist. It's going to be easy to open. And then with the efficiency test that we do with the light box, you feel that that's going to solve that problem?
I do.
Okay, so based on everything, all the initial reasons why you call us out here and some of the things that we found in the inspection, when the time comes, do you feel that this is going to be the best product for you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, and the other concerns you had too were about the company, the longevity of the company, the reputation of the company, wanting subcontractors. And when we went through and we talked about all of that, you saw the 4,000 online reviews. We're getting 3.8 stars or 4.8 stars out of 5 for 4,000 reviews. And then also too, we have that proprietary DreamStyle reflash that we do where we take out the aluminum frame. So you're not going to have the problems with the water infiltration going on here and so forth. And of course, our reputation with you know, the #1 rated remodeling company in the nation, the reviews that we've had, the fact that all of our employees are W-2, and that they're going to, I mean, when the time comes, I guess, would you feel comfortable trusting Renewable Anderson? 100% comfortable?
The C word.
I don't trust Renewable Anderson either. Would you feel, when the time comes, would you feel 100% confident in trusting Dreamstyle with handling this project, that we're going to do a great job? We're going to stand behind it. We're going to warranty and guarantee it more than anyone else?
Sure.
Okay. So ultimately, really, what it sounds like it comes down to is that the only thing that's keeping us from doing business today is the price.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Cost, whatever. Okay.
Okay,
So good company, good
so
with them.
listen, that was, I loved everything, the Renewable Anderson part.
Yeah. RBA.
But remember, you gotta have a definite cutoff, right? So we went through, said, so, you know, you call us out here today to do this, you revisit the painting, and it's perfect, right? Would you feel we taken care of all that for you? Great. Other question you need to ask that you left out of there, is there anything else you'd be looking for that we didn't share with you today?
Usually I ask that before I go into the resolution.
I got you, but at this point, with the resolution, well, after we get done showing the resolution and what we've done to fix it, is there anything else you would be looking for that we didn't share with you today? My head's shaking right now. Okay, so it just does that automatically. I didn't even know I was doing it, so I just got myself, right? So when they say no, so it sounds like to me then this is the Windows system, the installation you only need.
When the
You want
time
when it
comes,
comes time to the project. You're gonna have that definite stop right there. So that way they say, no, that's exactly. It's great, it sounds like to me. It doesn't like pressure, it's getting this smoke for it. Yeah, because it just rolls off the tongue.
Right.
Because we don't want to keep, at that point, we don't want to just rehash everything back again. We want to make.
Well, that's what he just did though, for 2 minutes.
I know, but I let him keep going. And that's why I want to stop it real quick, and I want to say, what he did about re-explaining the problems again and what we were doing to solve the problem, perfect, okay? Then when you say, well, we found on the inspection that you weren't recovering, here's what else that we had to do. Is there anything else you're looking for on everything we took care of right there that we didn't take care of? You got any questions about? No. So there's nothing else you're looking for. And everything's perfect, good. So it sounds like to me when it comes time, this is a Windows system you not only need, but one, I like to use the word system because there's several functions designed for one outcome. That's the definition of it. This Windows system basically does everything you want and need, right? There's nothing else you're looking for. When it comes time, this is what you want and need, yes. So it sounds like to me there's nothing besides price of paying it's good to us move forward today, right?
So when I'm doing this in my presentation, I have all of the shit written out, like what their problems were. And then I'll just like check them. Check. Oh, the window, because you go with the windows, check. The company, check. You know, so they're like,
Like a Ben Franklin rap sheet.
yeah. It's just like, hey, look, these are all the problems called out for.
The one thing I want you to make sure comes out of your mouth every time is you're doing good right now. Your numbers show it, so I'm proud of you. The other aspect I want you to do is after you identify that we've taken care of those problems, you have to ask that question. Is there anything else you're looking for or need that we haven't showed you today?
Right.
Is there anything else you're looking for or need that we haven't shown with you today? You gotta ask that because they're giving you permission to tell you right there, yeah, we want to see, you know, whatever it might be.
Nope.
They don't tell you that
Mark
right
agreed
there.
to buy 2 windows from me.
They don't tell you that right there. If they don't tell you that right there, they've just lost their ability to shop.
Yeah.
They have literally forfeited their ability to go look around. They forfeited their ability to basically negotiate with you at the end because they just told you there's nothing else they're looking for.
Right.
So when it comes time, sounds like this is a window door system you do want, need in the house, right?
And you can bring up the price question. You already.
And I usually do that before I, you know, after I go through everything. I mean, any of the questions, any of the concerns, anything we're missing here, you know, and
Say
then.
however you want to say.
Yeah, and then I'll go into giving the resolution on the window and on the company and so forth. It's kind of just out of order, I guess. You know?
I made a career on that line right there.
Yeah.
Basically saying, is there anything else you're looking for we haven't shown you today?
Right.
So there's nothing else. So great, so it sounds like when it comes time that we, you know, put together the perfect window and door system that's gonna take care of all the problems in the house, right, nothing else. Cool. So it sounds like to me really then the one thing left is just want to make sure it's affordable, right? There's probably nothing besides price of payments gonna keep it from getting started today, is that correct? Boom. And then you get them, then they're locked.
Well, I gotta check my wife. She's not here.
Well, that would come back. Right. Well, let me ask you, had she been here? She would say,
When you do talk to her, what would you tell her?
That's how much they cost, honey.
And everybody's got different personalities in the way they speak, which is fine, but you gotta find a way in the way you speak and your personality to say the same exact thing. And I promise you, if you miss one of those little things, remember, elephants don't bite, mosquitoes do, and I promise you, your results will show it. That's why I'm telling you, as good as you think you might be, if you miss those little things, it will bite the hell out of you. And it will suck. It sucks when you look at all the things you missed just because of one or two little tweaks or words, right? All right, good job.
Yeah, and my feeling is resolution pre-close is that putt. So you get that one and you nail that one, then the value just becomes that much easier.
Yeah, mine was price conditioning.
So there you go. Or price conditions, not a good one.
There's not a right or wrong answer.
No,
Yeah, it's just whatever you feel.
No, he told me he was willing to spend more, have it done right, which is exactly what you want to hear, right?
Well, the way
Thanks,
you
guys.
twisted it into it, that's great. The way you twisted it on the back of it to get to commit to it was great. I just want to make sure you know when you're talking about the whole separate part, which is the window, then you ask them, there's nothing else to look.
All right, thanks, you guys. Let's get the last people to come up. We'll do the value.
Yeah, you guys use the microphone.
You can create whatever, create the price, whatever you want to do. Just
Creating
assume.
the price.
Yeah, just,
Okay. So, Mark, calls out here, we're having some serious issues going on with the windows.
we already gone through that.
Okay, well, can you see with everything that we need to
Already
take
gone
care
through all that. Oh, I see.
No, that's
Oh,
still
I know,
part of
you're
that,
right.
wait, that's still part of the commitment value.
Gotta have some
All right,
prices.
commitment to value. Can you see with everything that you called us out here for, not to mention what we found on the inspection, and unfortunately your inspector didn't find on his inspection, how we hold $8,427 a good, how we hold $8,742 a good value to take care of the project on your home?
It's a little high, but, you know, you said it was gonna be a little bit higher than I should expect.
Probably a little bit more of a project than you're expecting, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
So can you see how we hold 8,742 a good value?
All right, it's high.
Maybe 8,742. I need to see the numbers in my head.
It's more than I was willing to pay. But
Well,
that's fine.
But you see how good value, but we're not asking you to pay that. We have our 85% off, so. That
Wow.
total value down to
85%.
$275. What the customers do is open up an account at $4 a month, or no interest, no payments for 12 months. Let me ask you, how does that $4 a month fit into the?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So can I welcome you to Dream Seller Model?
For $4 a month?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, nice.
Actually, you're backwards on that. You should say.
It's 12 first, and then the.
Say it right.
Okay, all right. So, 275, more of our savvy customers do is open an account at 12 months, no interest, no payments, or open an account at $4 a month. Let me ask you, how does that $4 a month fit into the budget?
That definitely works.
Okay, can I welcome you to Dream Style Model?
Sure.
I want to think about it.
Well, Dustin, thank you for sharing that. Most times when I'm sitting in front of a customer, a nice person like yourself, even though you don't look nice, you're a nice person like yourself, it generally means one of two things. You haven't found the right company, that would be the Dream Style side. Let me ask you did say you're 100% confident and trusting Dream Style Model?
Yeah.
Okay. You're looking for anything different with our service and warranties that we provide?
Nope.
So let me ask you, let's just be honest, this is the money side of it. So how much too much is that $4 a month?
About $2 too much.
So if I could get somewhere close to that $2 a month, would that be enough to earn your business?
How long is the $2 for again?
60 months.
That's crazy. That's like buying a house.
Well, it's actually, it was crazy. We could have bid at $2 had you
I
called
don't
me
make
when you.
snap, I don't make snap decisions. Actually, I never make snap decisions.
I'm not taking your rubber band. Well, Yeah, I've been doing this a long time. So people tell me they haven't made snap decisions. It usually means they've made a snap decision and that outcome hasn't turned out the best. Let me ask you, has that been the case for yourself?
Yeah, I bought a rubber band from a rubber band salesman. That's true.
You got snapped?
I got snapped.
How'd that feel when that happened?
I didn't feel good. Said I'd never do it again.
Let me ask you, have you ever made a decision?
Yeah, so-
That didn't turn out, that you made about?
Yeah, so let me ask you, when you came to that decision, what was the ultimate, what made you make that decision? Was it the time you took to take it? Was it the amount of people that came out to sell you that rubber band? Or was it the rubber band company that you chose?
The company I chose.
Okay, so it's safe to say, let me ask you, when you studied for a test, when'd you study? When you had a test, when'd you study?
You almost went smooth to your ramble.
Oh, stop, you just kept picking on me, that's all.
Yeah, you said that.
Did I pass?
Good job, good job. All right, so again, remember one thing that you need to do, because all of you guys have your own personalities, right? Correct? I hired you guys because you have your own personalities. We're all robots.
We are all robots.
We are robots. You need to take the content like we talked today. Let me ask you, what was some of the best ideas you came up when we talked about our 2 to 3 foot putt, our master, our basically money shot. What were some of the best ideas for the money shot?
Rehash.
No, I said your idea, not mine.
Inspection.
Yeah.
What else you have?
Price conditioning.
Okay.
RC Trust. Mark Lance had a really good one.
Which was it? What was it, Mark?
Okay. Yeah, Mark. It's a shock you had a good one, but
No.
He's all bored. What was your primary? It was,
Excuse me?
what are the key things when it comes to sales?
Like your 3 foot flat. Oh.
The main thing.
For me, and not necessarily in this order, but inspection, window demo, and glass heat demo. And I think those are the most powerful.
Actually, he said something I thought was even more powerful, and that was listen to understand.
Yes, yes, that's so important. And I had a couple of personal experiences I shared with my coworkers here. Had a little kitchen remodel done. And at my age and the fact I got dark cupboards in the kitchen, I wanted to have quite a few lights in the kitchen to really, brighten it up. And first contractor I had, he was, you only need 4 lights out there. You don't need any more lights. I said, oh, well, I'd like to have more lights. You can always put them on a rheostat, a dimmer, if it's too bright. But that's what I'd like to do. And he adamantly said, no, only 4 lights. Guess where he's not working?
For you.
He didn't listen. It's so simple. So simple. And you run into a lot when you talk to people that are salespeople and they're not professional salespeople.
I can only think that.
People forget to listen. That's probably one of the key things. Listen to what your customer has to say.
Good. Good. Well, I hope you guys all got something from somebody, at least some good ideas. Today's whole thing was to get you to think outside the box again, right? Focus on.
How's it been working out for you?
Yeah. So again, listen, if we're trying to master something like that too, if we wrote down something on there that's important to us, or we want to simplify it. Again, if I take my putt in my theory, right, and I'm hitting my 3 foot putt and I'm hitting it 50 times in a row, I know I probably can't get it wrong, right? So it's like the words I say, if I'm in my closing scenarios, I'm trying to be a better closer. I feel like that's my putting. If it's my company presentation, because I'm getting some objection, I reverse engineer it there. If it's because it's my resolution, or I need to learn more about the product, so I do a better job selling it, or my options, whatever it might be, figure out what your money shot is, or where you feel like your money shot is, or what 2 clubs or 2 parts of the presentation you need to work on and master, and then practice till you can't get it wrong. Yeah.
What do you think of my shot is? What's your 3 foot putt?
My 3 foot putt's not important if it's not your 3 foot putt.
No, I get it, but I mean, as a whole, like, for this position, I mean, are you saying it's an individual thing, or just like?
I think it depends on where you're at in your career. I think ultimately the inspection Great inspection is your number one money shot, because without need, there is no desire. Without desire, there is no solution. So I think the basic, you got to have that inspection's got to be point on, because without it, you're showing up to work for no reason, right?
Well, and you're swimming in the sea of sameness. You're just like everybody else.
It's like the doctor, you walk in, you can have the answers, but if you haven't looked at the x-rays, you're a quack, right? So again, you got to make sure prescription before diagnosis is malpractice. So if I'm prescribing a solution before I know what the diagnosis is, then I'm a quack. So again, the same thing happens to walk into it. Second money shot, in my mind, is if you do the obvious, which is a masterful inspection or a masterful presentation on explaining your differences of the company and how we're different and basically the process throughout there. And you've come down to the product side of it, which should be almost, you could be robotic about. Then the last money shot is pre-close and close. That is you're delivering the money side of it is the last most important thing you can do, because if you screw up at the end, it doesn't matter. That's your putting. That's your putting for dough. Your closing aspect should be easy, but how you present the end of it to me, how you begin is not how you end if you screw up. If you mess up on the money side and you didn't get a good commitment to value, then your next price becomes a real price and you give everything away. If you don't get a commitment to value, again, you're not putting them in a position where they want to succeed. So being able to sell the payment, to me, is 90% of it. Being smart enough to realize that people aren't spending $20, $30, $40, $50, $60,000 worth of cash on projects, then most time they're taking an investment program, especially right now when we got the 36 months, 0%. People buy payments. They buy it all day long. That's why people buy cars and other things. They lease rather than buy. There's a lot of people out there that are about the payment, and that's it. Does it fit in their normal their living style, the way they live their life, right? Last thing I want to talk about before we end is competitive kill info. You should have a file on your iPad or on your computer that has highlighted warranties of all your competitors. Not just what the brief warranty says where everything's covered by lifetime warranty. When you open up and you lift the hood up, talks about improper installation, exposure to direct sunlight or excessive heat differentials over glass surfaces, or any excess damage caused by that will be voided by this warranty. Silicone is not covered under the warranty. And you see retrofit, and I'd be printing that out on their website, highlighting it, and putting it with that info, and kicking their ass with the information that they put on their website. Information they put on basically through there. Pissedoffconsumer.com. I go on pissedoffconsumer.com, and I print everybody's report. You can print the one for Milgard, it's ugly. You can read all the things the comments and customers are saying. You can print the thing about Anderson or Renewal by Anderson. It's ugly. Lots of things on there saying everything that you don't want to hear. Window World, 836 complaints, right? You can print that out, show how they've got a horrible rating on through there. You got those different things where you can print that all out, have a warranty, have the information or stuff that you would need from the company website, and have pissedoffconsumer.com, all three of them packaged together, and keep it in a little file on your iPad for when you need it. You'll change your world, I promise you. Because people trust what's on the internet. Or save home tags to it that allow you to push a button and come up and present it. You can murder Renewal by Anderson. You can murder Window World. You can murder Milgard. You can murder all these companies just by showing the information that's put on the website, right? So what's that tell us? We have to do a good job, keep our own shit clean. Right now, we got a pretty clean record. We don't have a pissedoffconsumer.com or any of these other things, right? So therefore, you got pissedoffconsumer.com. You can use that against it. Oh, it's beautiful. Renewal by Anderson's ugly. They've got like over 1,000 different complaints, right? You got basically, you can go to Pella itself and print it out. You can do any of these customers, you can get on that thing and you can pull out, because, pissed off people talk, right? Happy people don't put anything online, which is why we got to listen and pull that happy out. Take time and just highlight warranties. Put that in your book, or even if you don't know how to do it, print out the warranty, highlight the stuff in the warranty that's relevant to it,
print it out so you can turn around and say, well, I've got Milgard coming out. Well, here, if I could shave you basically 2 hours your time or an hour your time, if you give me 6 minutes, I promise you it'll change your life. Okay, do you care if I show it to you? Yeah, boom. Here's their warranty, here's their pissedoffconsumer.com, here's this. Here's why it will not work in the situation that's going on in your house with your windows. Let me ask you, would you still consider that no matter what the price? Hell no, we're not doing it. Well, it's safe to say, would you like my help canceling that? Can we go in there on your visit today? You know how many times I've worked? A ton. But you got to be prepared. It's like going into war. I'm going to war and I'm shooting from the hip. I'm depending solely on my words and the information I can share, not the third-party expert opinion or the validation from the website that helps me show conviction. So again, get really good at that, because I promise you it makes a difference. Upstairs in my room, I pull out a file, and it has my old kill book. It's funny, it had Window World's brochure, Window World's estimate, called World of Window, and Window World on the same estimate, and then it had their warranty and highlights all highlighted up. And I kept it in there that I showed against them because they were a major person I went to when I sold for Champion. So it allowed me to go back in there and kill it. Then I had Anderson's warranty, and I had basically Pell's warranty. I had everyone's warranty known to man printed out and put in that book that I dealt with on a daily basis, or that I came into contact with more than once. It's kind of funny, if you go to like that American Vision Windows, you can go to their website, you can tap on the line of window, and it'll actually bring up the warranty for each one of their lines of windows. You can literally get everyone's like 10 different companies' warranties right there and grab and highlight them all off of that. I did it and I was sending it, somebody asked me for the information, I was highlighting it and sending it to them while they were in the house, because it takes 2 seconds with technology today to highlight something.
What's that on?
What's that, American Vision Windows?
Is that some Corey can put together for you?
I can have them look at it. I'd probably feel more comfortable putting it together because I'm going to know what to highlight. I'd have to teach him what to look for. So
You should put it together yourself, man, so you learn something.
That's actually a good
No,
point.
He has printers and everything. We
We
all have.
I would, if I were you guys, I would take like an AMI warranty, Associated Materials Incorporated. They're the one that manufacture Window World, Allside, Reynolds, Heartland, Alcoa. They manufacture the mass manufacture of all those vinyl windows that are into there. They do $300 million of vinyl windows in the market. And if you just take their warranty alone and highlight it, you're grouping all those groups into one area, right? And it shows you in their warranty, you can print out the Reynolds warranty, the Allside warranty, they're all read exactly the same. And they tell you that it's 10-year lifetime warranty from the date of installation with the original homeowner that is not transferred. Transferability only if it's within the first 10 years. So lifetime warranty technically is not a lifetime warranty. And if you get in there and read those warranties, you'll have so much ammunition on what a piece of shit all the other companies you deal with are, it'll make you sing and dance and your confidence that much higher. An ending. Most truthful statement in the industry. Most truthful statement in the industry. Look in the mirror. That's truly your only competition. It's getting over yourself and out of your own melon that is sometimes the hardest one to get in front of. Today, just like I gave the analogy on the golfing, right? We talked about the money shot. Whatever your money shot, which is the thing that you need to work on, or the thing that you feel like is going to give you the biggest result, that's going to gain 20, 25% efficiency to your business, what is it? How do you identify it, right? Figure out what it is and work on it till you can't get it wrong, right? The amateur press get it right. Professional pressing can't get it wrong, as we say 8,000 times, right? The purpose is, the meetings like this, I wanted to open your mind up, not leave here thinking the same way you thought, because apparently that's not good enough sometimes. So we got to, again, as you watch some people up here come up and nail it, right? Some people brought some good statements, some good twists, some good lines, some good content. I mean, if you don't have the right keynote, start there, right? Number 2, basically, make sure you know your commitments. Make sure you know the little things are going to have to big things in the end, right? I talk about these things on a week-to-week basis, not because they're new, not because they're updated technology, because they're that old crusty club that still hits 300 yards that works, right? So again, we want to make sure we're doing the little things that add to big things, and again, stay out of your own way. Do things like I did. I went golfing, freshen my brain up, man. It's amazing what you can do when you feel sharp and on point.
But yet you were still thinking about.
I was thinking about how to help as I was hitting. Because to me, my income depends on you guys making money. So if you're not making money, it's making me not make money. So again, we share a common goal to make you make as much money as you possibly can, because then I get back what I want in life too. So again, it makes no benefit for me to try to screw you over or send you to bad areas or not make you successful or all those things you think I might think on you. I don't wish any harm.
Oh, shit, weeds.
Yep, it's only you.
I know.
Only you. All right, so let's hoot in and get the hell out of here, right? It was today helpful?
Yeah.
All right, I feel at least being in the groups, talking within yourself, kind of hearing some of that stuff, it's a good idea to share those with each other. And if you know what they are, what's your action plan and what's your focus to get to fix it, right? What's your focus, what's your action plan to fix it? Next Monday, we've scheduled to go to Panoramic, the showroom, and our next Monday meeting is going to be at Panoramic, going through training on the Panoramic doors. So next Monday, we'll send out basically the meeting agenda. We'll get you the address of where we're going on to it. So that's where our meeting is going to be next Monday, is at Panoramic, folks. They probably should. Good
They
idea.
definitely should, because they don't know their head from their ass.
I agree.
JC.
All right. You heard that, Ed, right? All right.
You know, they have installation classes every, second Wednesday of every month.
Yeah.
But you have to get them to make all 3 panels when you order a 3 panel.
Oh, that's a All right, so listen, that's negative, we leave that out, okay? We left the head from the ass comment, and we'll stop at that one, and then we'll leave the rest of them out.
In the best possible.
All right, mean that in the best possible way. So here we go. That doesn't have anything to do with us focusing on a massive presentation. It all starts with us figuring a massive presentation, and it's up to Ed to get their head out of their ass. Just kidding. All right, just joking. All right, with that side, let's go ahead and end up. Who do they think gonna beat San Diego? Nobody. All right, see you guys.
Thanks, Dustin.
Okay. So I got that Pella door that Mark and I went out to last week.
Yeah.
Whoever our Pella rep is said we can't get it. So do you want to talk with Isaiah, or do you want me to just go to Lowe's and get that?